The Price of Discipline vs. The Pain of Regret by Jim Rohn. In Tribute and Spirit, discipline and regret, two forces that shape the destiny of every entrepreneur, every investor, and every human being with a dream to build something meaningful. One is sharp, demanding, and often uncomfortable. The other is heavier, longer lasting, and far more painful. Jim Rohn, one of the greatest minds in personal development, once said, "We must all suffer one of two things, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret." That phrase, as simple as it may sound, holds the key to every breakthrough, every fortune built, and every life transformed. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. It's the price you pay daily to avoid the cost of a life half lived. Regret, on the other hand, is the invoice you receive when you ignore discipline long enough. And unlike discipline, which costs pennies per day, regret collects compound interest and shows up with vengeance. This article is an exploration, a deep, raw, and real look into the silent war between these two forces. Whether you're building a business, investing your money, or designing a better life, the message is the same. Choose your pain wisely. The silent divide. Why most people choose regret without knowing. Discipline sounds noble. Regret sounds dreadful. But why do so many end up with regret instead of discipline? Because discipline whispers while regret screams. Discipline requires that you set the alarm earlier, that you skip the party, that you show up when no one is watching. It demands effort before results, sacrifice before comfort. It's the quiet voice that tells you to keep going when quitting would be easier. It's hard, it's not flashy, and it doesn't always reward you immediately. Regret, however, is easy. It lets you sleep in, skip the call, eat what you shouldn't, spend what you don't have. It seduces you with comfort now, but robs you of freedom later. And by the time you realize it, the cost has multiplied. Most people don't consciously choose regret. They simply avoid the price of discipline one too many times. Then, when the years pass, they wake up to find that the door they could have opened is now locked. The opportunity they ignored has passed. The time they wasted isn't coming back. The tragedy is not failure. The real tragedy is potential left unexplored. The price of discipline. What it really costs. Let's be honest. Discipline does hurt. It hurts to wake up early when your body craves sleep. It hurts to invest in your education when you could be spending money on instant pleasure. It hurts to practice your pitch one more time, to review your numbers, to hold yourself to a higher standard. It hurts to say no to distractions, to face your fears, to delay gratification. But let's make one thing absolutely clear. Discipline is temporary. It lasts minutes, hours, sometimes days, but it doesn't linger. When you've paid the price of discipline, you build strength, you gain clarity, you develop mastery, you create momentum, and slowly, the pain disappears, replaced by pride. The workout that once hurt now energizes. The call you once dreaded now closes deals. The early morning that once felt brutal becomes your secret advantage. Discipline is not punishment. It is training. It is investment. It is the entrance fee to the life you say you want, the pain of regret, the debt you don't want to pay. If discipline is a short-term sacrifice, regret is a lifelong torment. Regret doesn't show up immediately. It waits. It waits until the noise settles, until the excuses run out, until the opportunity is gone. Then it knocks cold, emotionless, and unrelenting. It asks questions you can't answer. Why didn't you try? Why did you stop? What could your life have looked like if you had stayed the course? Regret ages you. It robs you of sleep. It steals your joy. It shadows your victories with thoughts of what could have been greater. Jim Rohn warned us, discipline weighs ounces, regret weighs tons. You can recover from failure. You can learn from mistakes. But regret is time lost, possibilities erased, legacy abandoned. For an entrepreneur, regret is the idea never launched. For an investor, it's the opportunity missed because of fear. For a business owner, it's the mediocrity accepted because greatness required too much effort. Don't let your story be one of almost, the discipline advantage. What happens when you choose it every day? Now, let's turn the page. Let's talk about what happens when you choose discipline. First, you gain clarity. When you live with discipline, distractions shrink. Focus sharpens. You stop reacting to the urgent and start acting on the important. Second, you build trust with yourself. Every promise kept, every habit honored, every deadline met. These things tell your brain, I can rely on me. That confidence, it compounds. You start to walk differently, speak differently, make decisions with courage, not hesitation. People notice. Opportunities multiply. Third, you gain freedom. It's ironic. Discipline often looks restrictive, but in truth, it unlocks everything you crave. The freedom to say no, the freedom to choose your clients, the freedom to build wealth, create impact, and design your own schedule. Discipline creates options. Regret removes them. Every disciplined action is a seed, a deposit into the bank of your future. And eventually, the compound interest kicks in not just financially, but emotionally, mentally, spiritually. You become someone powerful, reliable, unstoppable. Why entrepreneurs, business owners, and investors must take this seriously. In business, discipline is the difference between being self-employed and being a true entrepreneur. It's the difference between hoping clients show up and designing a lead generation system, between winging your pricing and tracking your margins, between burnout and sustainable performance. As an investor, discipline separates gamblers from wealth builders. It means sticking to your strategy when the market dips. It means studying before acting, thinking long-term, mastering emotional control. For leaders, discipline is integrity in action. It's keeping your word when no one would notice if you didn't. It's holding your team accountable, showing up prepared, creating culture by design, not by accident. The marketplace doesn't reward good intentions. It rewards execution, and execution requires discipline. If you want to lead, build, and win, this isn't optional. It's essential. The daily choices that build or break you. Discipline doesn't start with massive change. It starts with tiny wins. 5 more minutes of reading, 10 more push-ups, 1 less soda, 1 more call, 1 hour of deep work with your phone off. It's not about being perfect. It's about being intentional. You don't have to overhaul your life. You have to prove to yourself today that you can take 1 meaningful step. Every time you do, you build character, grit, identity. Eventually, you stop being someone trying to be disciplined. You become someone who simply is. And from that place, you begin to win consistently. Stories of pain and power, discipline in real life. Steve Jobs wasn't a genius because he had ideas. He was relentless in execution. Warren Buffett didn't get rich picking lucky stocks. He followed disciplined principles for decades. Serena Williams didn't dominate tennis because of talent alone. It was the morning drills, the mental work, the recovery, the routine. Every success story you admire is soaked in discipline. But here's the secret. Those same people had days they didn't want to get up. Moments. They questioned everything. Nights they felt like quitting, but they kept going. They remembered what was at stake. They valued their future more than their momentary comfort. They understood that every act of discipline was building a version of themselves they hadn't met yet but would one day become. You have that power too. What to do when you slip. Because you will. You'll fall off. You'll miss the workout, blow the budget, lose focus, break the streak. So what? Discipline isn't about perfection. It's about resilience. The goal is not to never miss. It's to never miss twice. Get back up. Forgive yourself. Recommit. Remember, discipline is not a personality trait. It's a skill, and skills can be trained. Every time you choose discipline, you're casting a vote for the person you want to be. And every vote counts. You're already paying a price, just make sure it's the right one. Here's the raw truth. You're already in pain. The pain of being stuck. The pain of knowing you could do more. The pain of watching others pass you by. The pain of waiting for someday. So if you're going to suffer either way, why not suffer in the direction of your dreams? Why not choose the pain that leads to freedom, to wealth, to purpose? Let your actions today become the gratitude of tomorrow, not the regret. You are one discipline away from a different life. Look around. The business you want, the body you want, the life you want. It's all on the other side of a decision. And it's not just one big decision, it's the same decision made over and over again. To do the hard thing now. To train when it's easier to scroll. To invest when it's safer to spend. To speak truth when silence would be simpler. One act of discipline at a time. You don't need more time. You don't need another book. You don't need permission. You just need to decide. And then act. And then keep acting. Discipline isn't about intensity. It's about consistency. And once you make it part of who you are, regret won't even have a chance. Final thoughts. The life you want is calling. Will you pay the price or the penalty? Let this be the moment you stop negotiating with mediocrity. Let this be the hour you choose your pain on purpose. Not the pain of guilt, lost time, or wasted talent, but the pain of discipline, the kind that transforms. No more excuses, no more waiting, no more regret, just action, just alignment, just a future worth fighting for. So wake up early, make the call, write the plan, honor your values. Be the one who chooses discipline. Because while the pain of discipline is real, it pales in comparison to the life you'll live because of it. And when the day comes that you look back, you won't remember the tired mornings or the hard choices. You'll remember what you built, who you became, and how it all started with a single decision to pay the price, so you never had to carry the pain. If this message lit a fire in you, don't keep it to yourself. Subscribe for more content that challenges you to rise. Comment below with one act of discipline you'll take today. Like this message to spread the mission, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Because together, we choose greatness one disciplined step at a time.